Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here to talk about The Walking Dead World Beyond and a sneak peek that we got during the preview night special. I really liked this sneak peek. It really showed us the world of this place, like where they are, what's going on, and it also gave us some hints about or talked about her dad a little bit, Iris and Hope's dad, which I think is a very interesting character because of. We'll talk more about it throughout the video, but I think their dad is important, with the CRM and stuff like that. But again, we'll talk more about that when we get to that part in the video. Before I do begin, though, I want to quickly say I'm going to be doing a Q&A in a couple days. For the Walking Dead season 10 finale and like Walking Dead stuff in general, Fear the Walking Dead, The World Beyond. So I made a post in the community section of my channel. If you wanted to go ask a question there, I'll definitely be answering them in a video coming out very shortly, actually, like right before the season finale airs. So probably in the next like 2 to 3 days. But yeah, with that being said, let's get into this sneak peek. So yeah, like I said, Hope and Iris, their dad, they're gonna be like the two main characters in the show, but their dad, I think, is important in the larger scope of the universe with the CRM. But yeah, the sneak peek was really awesome. We had two different things kind of going on. We had some stuff that Hope herself, or not Hope, excuse me, Iris, we were following her during the sneak peek, but we also had a voiceover from her. So I'm gonna go ahead and read the voiceover first, and then we're going to talk about the action and what we're actually seeing on screen. Alright, so the voiceover during the sneak peek, she's just walking around and she does do some interesting stuff which relates to something that her father sent her, which we'll get to in a second. But this is what she's saying, the voiceover, and I can kind of see this being early on in the episode. I don't know if this is like the opening minutes or what. It's probably not the opening minutes. They just said sneak peek, but this is what Iris said. I live for my mom who died that night 10 years ago, like so many others. She's referring to that plane crash that happened during the early days of the apocalypse. So this is like right at the start of the apocalypse. I think the show is gonna start off with a flashback, or maybe it's gonna be in the middle of the episode. I don't know, but we're gonna get some sort of flashback of the early days of the apocalypse. And I think they were trying to escape, flying somewhere, but it didn't work out. So Iris and Hope's mom died, but her father is alive, because next she says, and my father who is far away doing important work that will benefit us all. So this is a really important line, I think, a really interesting one to say the least. I highlighted it because I really wanted to talk about this because what do you guys think this could mean? What is the important work that her father is doing that's going to benefit them all? For me, the thing that jumped in my head was a cure, because that is like really the only thing I can think of that would benefit everybody right now. I mean, it is important work. I think it fits the CRM mold and what they're doing. Going back to The Walking Dead and Jadis and the CRM and trading people for food. Like, why do they want food, or why do they want people? Why are they, if you look at the sneak peek, you can see they have a lot of people here. So I think the reason they want people is maybe for experiments. They also want people who are bitten, which is weird, not turned, just like I think, because remember when Jadis was gonna have that walker bite Negan, the helicopter came right away, in that moment. So I think they were trying to get Negan to get bit, and then they take Negan away to do an experiment or something. So that's what I'm thinking, which is pretty exciting, if they're working on a cure, because again, this doesn't happen in the comics, but AMC has changed The Walking Dead and or made it their own. And I mean, they've made the main show what it is, and I love that. The main show is always going to follow the comics, but they're creating new stories and new spin-offs within the world of The Walking Dead. And I do think if they touch upon a cure or discuss something like that, I think it'll be pretty cool. So that's what kind of jumps in my mind about it. You guys let me know what you think. What do you think that important work is going to be? But yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Anyways, moving on, she says we are 10 years in. I was a little kid. I can barely remember the night the sky fell, let alone what the world was like before. So yeah, this is like the first generation raised in the apocalypse. I think it's pretty cool that they're focusing a show on them, because it is interesting to see their take on the apocalypse. And I think it's always, and especially for these people, they've been behind these walls all this time. So it's not like Carl and Judith and them who go out and deal with walkers sometimes. I don't even know if they've ever dealt with walkers. Maybe not. So I think it's gonna be pretty interesting to see them explore. She goes on to say, we live behind the walls and the dead still have this world. And I think that is everything that went away. With everything we lost and everyone we lost, some people think it can happen again. So this line was really interesting to me, because some people think it can happen again. For me, this kind of makes me think that everyone is really safe behind these walls, because some people think it can happen again. Like, they're not really worried about it, I think they're just living behind these walls. And they're not really that focused on the walkers and stuff like that. That was really interesting to me, because what are people thinking can happen again, like the walkers, or another big tragedy? Like what are these people thinking? So I'm kind of thinking that maybe they're really safe behind these walls and they don't have to deal with that kind of stuff. Because next she says, some people think what we have can't last, some can't believe. So yeah, I think everyone behind these walls are super safe, and some people think that what we have can't last. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Alexandria when Rick and them came. A lot of people behind the walls of Alexandria never really dealt with walkers that much. And Rick was trying to help them and train them, and have them be prepared for the future, because he knows what was coming and he knows the world out there. So it kind of reminds me of that situation. But yeah, it looks like everyone here is like really safe, and they don't really have to deal with walkers that much. And then this next part was really cool. She said, but I am certain of our home city, and our alliance with Portland, with the civil republic. And I am certain of what's ahead. We are monuments to the past, but everyone here, all of you are the future. We are the future. So I think the voiceover is maybe like a letter or a message that she's telling people before she leaves or something like that. I don't know that for sure, but I'm just sort of thinking about that. But this is really interesting to me, because our alliance with Portland, with the Civil Republic. So this makes me wonder if maybe, Portland, this is insane, because Portland is all the way on the other side of the country. And this kind of shows like how much or how big the CRM really is. I mean, The Walking Dead is in the Virginia area, and Fear the Walking Dead is in the Texas area. So it just kind of shows like how, and they both ran into the CRM. It really shows like how big this community is. It's insane. I mean, this Commonwealth has to know them, right? I mean, they have to at this point, if they're all over the country. And maybe, what if they're like all over the world? That would be insane. But anyways, yeah, so they have an alliance with the Civil Republic. So that's interesting to me, because Jadis also had an alliance with them. Like I was talking about earlier, she would give them people, and they would give her food and stuff. But this situation is a little bit different, because this is like a whole community here. It's different. They have like a place to live and everything. And I feel like maybe this is like a deeper alliance. I don't think it's just like a thing with like Jadis had. I think this might actually be like a CRM base. Who knows? But you guys let me know what you think. But we're gonna get into the actual footage now and talk about what we're seeing, because there are a couple interesting things that I wanted to talk about. So while Iris is having this voiceover, this monologue, we have her walking here, and this place kind of reminds me of like a college campus or something. You can see like all the different buildings. It's a real big community. This is probably the biggest community we've seen so far. I mean, this is definitely bigger than the Kingdom, which was also like really big. But yeah, this is pretty insane. So they have it's Monument Day right now. You can see they have some like festivities going on, and they're just like all having a good time. Yeah, it definitely reminds me of like a college campus. There's a lot of young people here also. But yeah, they're having, they're just talking. It's just walking, waving to each other. And then we get inside of Iris's home, or like where she's staying, her place, her room. And we have this image. We can see her dad there. So remember, that's the guy who I think is gonna have some really big important role in the future, I think. So when Iris walks in, she goes up to this closet and opens it, and there is a radio in there. So I think maybe she's trying to communicate with her father, or maybe communicate with other people. So we'll see if that, because radios are really important now, I think, with all these shows being connected. So we'll see if she hears someone's voice. I mean, I don't think it'll be like anyone on The Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead, but I don't think it's impossible for it to be someone related to Rick, because I think this is where that show is headed to. But anyways, this next thing is really interesting to me because she opens up a book, and she opens it, and there's some messages in the book from her dad. Now, this is like a really interesting way to send a letter, and it kind of makes me wonder. So in the letter, the dad is talking about Iris and Hope, but this is a really weird way to send a letter, I think, because it's almost as if the letter is supposed to be hidden. It's inside this book, right? So that kind of makes me wonder if maybe her dad is in trouble, and maybe her dad was like, okay, I'm going to send my daughters this book, but he secretly wrote a message in the book, Let me know what you guys think about that, because this is a very weird letter to me. I'm not sure why they wouldn't just do it paper style, or maybe this is from something totally unrelated, I don't know, because to me it just kind of caught my attention. I mean, in the letter, he does say, I am proud to do important work and hope you can be proud too. So I think this is like he's sending it from wherever he is, right? So you guys let me know what you think about that. But that definitely caught my eye because I feel like maybe his dad is in trouble, or maybe the CRM isn't, maybe not in trouble because maybe he is doing important work, but maybe the CRM isn't letting him leave or something. Because obviously the CRM, they might be an interesting group. They took Rick away and stuff like that, but I don't think they're going to be innocent or anything. So we'll see what happens. I really love this sneak peek. You guys let me know what you think about this, and what do you think is going on with the CRM, and how do you feel about them being like as big as they are? Let me know your thoughts and opinions and theories about this show and these people. But that being said, I am going to wrap it up there for this video. The Walking Dead World Beyond premieres this Sunday, so if you are a fan of the show, and the Walking Dead Season 10 finale, obviously, so if you are a fan of the shows, be sure to subscribe, because we're going to be having, breakdowns and reviews and all that kind of stuff for the shows. But again, I'm going to wrap it up there. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating. Again, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. And as always, thanks for watching, everybody. Please stay safe, and I'll see you guys soon.